Live streaming is on.
Wow. I think Mamoon said one to say something.
Yeah.
Is Mamoon here?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Okay, so it was about 2 months back. You all knows my mom's got an attack and mm, fully paralyzed right side, and it's like $4,000 to $5,000 I spend uh, for my mom. Like I mortgaged my properties, even sold some of my properties. Like disaster situation. So the other day, Alberto. Actually, I didn't expect that, but Alberto initiated. Um, I
GoFundMe.
don't know. Yeah, exactly. Alberto told me about this. Like maybe what the name of the fund? We go fund. I'm sorry.
GoFundMe.
Yeah. And and the other option. I thought. I mean, Alberto was about to tell that. Maybe FTN people will help me as well. And the bottom line is, I got back my mom to home just because of not not because of I can't actually spend more money. It's already too much for me. So I just got back her to home. Just things is getting as it is, but I don't know um, how it will survive, but just waiting that if there is any little help come from FQ or somewhere else, that would be good for me. I don't know, just I'm a little bit uh, uh, that's all, nothing to say.
All right.
Yeah, I just want you guys to suggest me. Is there any way to help me out?
Wait. Okay. So obviously, this is a good example of why we need life support. Because people need support with their lives, and people have problems they're going through, and with their family, everything. We said many times before, because as you mentioned, this is a couple months ago. We're very sorry in terms of your family situation and your mom and everything like that. It sounds terrible what you're going through, and we want to help you and support you the best we can based on what we are able to do. But again, we do want to create space for this. So a couple things. One, I would say if we want to discuss this, it should be its own topic, but this is not actually directly about planning and support for the life support program itself. It's about focusing on Mamoon. So the Mamoon topic and helping and support him. But before we go to just see if there's anything else anyone needs on life support, if we want to create this topic, and just quickly mention how within F2N we can obviously do back pay proposals. If you need money, you can propose to have your back pay turned into upfront for additional pay, or emergency advances if you don't have any back pay. From there, there's no question that we can help set up a crowdfunding campaign if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, my idea, Jay, was to create a GoFundMe campaign under the sponsorship of the MO, so that it could legally target the US market, which is much bigger than Bangladesh or whatever. And my idea was to to maybe encourage people to fund the campaign. The FQN workers could, I don't know, donate part of their back pay, that T2ML tokens or T2ML tokens or TAD tokens, T2ML into TAD, that we would give to the public or something like this. In this idea, like, or create a special token or something, but that comes from a donation from the workers' back pay, something like that. Yeah.
I just want to add that we did talk about this at the team meeting, I think 2 weeks ago on the 9th. And so we talked about, I do remember this, in several crowdfunding options.
Yeah, you were there, yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of the life support, there I see the overall vision, two different ways that it can go with life support, and we don't really have a description of what life support is, but one of the original visions is to support community leaders. So the idea is that if you the need is so great in every community, but if we support the leaders, they can go on and do other things and support their community. So coming up with a vision and a mission for what life support is. In terms of crowdfunding, we mentioned Bissette. Back in the day, she did need a lot of support, legal issues and all kind of things. And we, our friends got together and did a successful crowdfunding campaign, raised $8,000. But she doesn't necessarily have an org, and she's not necessarily a community leader and what is our definition of a community leader? And so Stacy, on the other hand, is similar to Bissette in terms of needing legal support and other life support options. We chose to give her a 10th job. Thank you for those who voted. But this is a lot of personal issues. And so I guess, are we defining the community leaders under org support? And something like this, like, since it's a private family issue, is it more, this is life support when this is, so what's the definition? Org support is your community leader and you have a need or a crowdfunding need for your project and vision, and then
Yeah, or organization.
Mhm.
Yeah, organizational support is that if you want to set up a social program or a nonprofit, I mean, ideally this, but anything else that you want to, we give you free counseling, basically, during that time. We don't do the work for you, but we guide you, we tell you, we help you creating a list of steps, of priorities, these kind of things. That's organizational support.
But a couple of things here. With the pipeline experience model, we need to do a deep dive into the Life Support Alliance website in order to showcase it, and we need to answer these questions that Mel are talking about. We need to have very detailed mission, description, purpose, like everything needs to be laid out for the public so that when we do the Umbrella Showcase launch, it will include the Life Support Alliance, and so everyone will understand it, right? So that is all very, very important. And the thing that you want to understand, Mel, is that for me, the original vision of life support is the current mission, which is to support community leaders, right? And that is the solution in terms of like what the program was intended to be, but it's not cut and dry in terms of like there's not like a cutoff, right? So it's not about like, oh, we only support community leaders. It's also about anyone can become a community leader, anyone can step up and help other people, and that's why Alberto at the very beginning was prioritizing what's called the BLN matrix. So the BLN matrix, or the basic life necessities matrix, and you could also call it like the BLN plus, community matrix, right? Which is basically looking at people's basic life necessities along with their community goals and involvement, and then it creates basically a score for each person so that we can prioritize them based on a process. So if someone's basic life needs outweigh their community involvement, you can prioritize people in the short-term emergencies and then also see where people fit in terms of the community leadership. So that all happens with the BLN matrix and the BLN community matrix. Does that make sense? No? In terms of prioritizing people, right? Because if you want to talk about one person at a time and where you put the focus and energy, you need to make a prioritization list so that you are, it's like any other organization of planning. You have to prioritize. You can't magically help everybody simultaneously. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wanted the difference between org support and life support, and and if it sounds like life support includes personal issues as well too, as opposed to just empowering someone's social and community projects.
Yeah, so the foundation of life support is basic life necessities. That is the step one. If you can't even get your basic life needs set up, that's very difficult to create a cause and actually help your community. And most people who do try to become community leaders fall off the bandwagon and drop like flies because it's so much effort to try to help others if you haven't first helped yourself. And I have exactly the same problem, that it's very difficult to help others when you're not even helped yourself yet. Does that make sense?
Right.
So in almost all movements, a lot of people get involved and they just drop out like flies. Like 99% of people in most just fall off the bandwagon. They can't sustain the level of energy they're putting towards helping the community and helping society. And that's where something like life support comes in, where you need to first, if you're trying to support a movement, if you don't actually support the individuals who are the leaders, and the movement has no chance. It's gone before it even tried to get started. And that's what's happened over and over and over again. Whether you look at Occupy and all these other things, that basically any of the movements that still really exist, it's mainly because they get bought out by big money special interests. Like big money organizations come in and basically kind of take control.
Okay.
Because individuals basically can't really do that. So anyway, so right now I feel like this is getting into some of the priorities that we need to do for moving on with the life support program and creating a space for where we plan and organize the new website for the Support Alliance. Well, we'll get to that. But in terms of just addressing Mamoon for a second, I feel like we do need to vote on a topic. I think Mamoon can directly ask workers to donate immediately. Like if anyone wants to donate to Mamoon, either from your paycheck or from your own personal wallet, send you his Bitcoin address. You can send that to the workers. He can send that to anybody and ask for donations. There's no problem with that. That's up to Mamoon though. Mamoon has to implement that. In terms of us helping Mamoon set up a crowdfunding campaign, you can get a schedule, you can prioritize it in other sessions. But either way, we'll ask to see if people want to actually schedule, but does that make sense, Mamoon? Did we answer your question on that?
Yeah, but I actually don't want to force FQN to do something. I'm just asking that if there is any way to help me. Just
Well, I'm telling you, there's 3 things that you can do. Nothing is necessarily a forcing, but right now we're all talking about it outside of agreement because we did not agree on the topic, right? So if you want to do it correctly, you would prioritize it as a topic and you get agreement on the topic. But I'm telling you that these are the 3 things that you can do to get support from us now. Do you understand these 3 things? Does that make sense?
yeah.
But it's up to you to step up and make sure that it happens. Like we can't, force you to do anything. Like it's your life, it's your it's your support. So my proposal to the team would be, to make a new topic on Mamoon. Go through that and cover his situation if we want to do that. So this would just be a moderation proposal. Proposal, topic proposal. I don't know. And then we can finish up with the life support topic, and then do that. So basically, the proposal would be to make a new topic on Mamoon before talking about the Prime Umbrella Showcase website. Basically, you just get focused on Mamoon for a little while. Do you guys understand the proposal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any questions about the proposal?
No question for me.
Are there any concerns?
Mm, none.
I don't know. We could say 10 to 15 minutes. I mean, I don't know how long it's to take, but if there's no concerns, then the question would be, are there any objections?
No objection.
Yeah, I think there's because I would go back to our topics, and then I would just say that we would
I was
pop in.
talking.
Oh, we couldn't hear you, Alberto.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted. No, I have an objection. I will make it after the umbrella, prime umbrella topic.
Okay, but they're probably not going to get to it. At least I'm not going to do it.
All right, so
This will not
no,
take time.
no objections. Okay, if we make it quick, no objections.
All right, so it's fine to just do it next.
Yeah, it's okay. We quick.
Okay, and then either way, we still want to make it clear that Mamoon that this is against policy to not be prioritizing the topic ahead of time with the group. Okay, so it's a minor thing, but it's just good to know. Does that make sense, Mamoon?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's a new topic and brought it up within a separate topic on life support. So it's just like, I don't know, 5 minutes, whatever. It's just noting that in the future, you always want to bring up a separate topic. Let's see, so that the group all has agreement or understanding on it. All right, so anything else on life support? Let's just finish up the life support topic before we go on to Mamoon. I feel like the other step is just making sure you guys understand the scheduling. If you need help with the scheduling form, I can help you out with that. Or, I'll try to find the scheduling form that we had in the past for some of the Americas groups.
Well, the scheduling form is it's all about the 8 months, all these kind of things, right? It's a bit complicated, actually.
Yeah, but we can create a simpler model or whatever we want to do. The main thing is that it just does, like we know it's going to be weekly, so we can skip that. We just do it weekly. And then we're scheduling every other week for the different, between the two different ones. And then we are doing basically new world. So we could almost just skip the old world. So then there's really just 7 times 4 options, 7 times 4, which gives us 28 possible boxes that people can vote.
So many. Why so many? We would have, what would you have? The 4 American octans, and our 3 brings us to 12. 7 is the days. The days, yeah. So 7 is the days. We would have 4 octans, right? So we would have 28 times 3, right? No, that's too much. 28 only. Because we want to be specific on the hour start as well, right? So we would have the 7 days. We would have the.
Wait, no, this is already the 28 right here. So you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, and you have Hydra, Andromeda, Cobalt, Sonic. This is exactly what I just said. Like, I don't see how it's complicated.
No, but yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, so we would only propose for H3, right? As our policies now, H3. Only for the starting hour, H3 for each octant. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 28, yes. Correct.
And this can just be for round 1. Once we narrow it down to what we want to focus on, then we can have a final vote on like the final session, right? This is just to get the overall change and evolution of where the group wants to go for the schedule.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the life support? I think the only other thing I noted here, which is going to be another responsibility, is overall pipeline um, identity. Right? Something like that. All right. So I think we're done with this.
Yeah.
We need to take a break before we go into Mamoon. I think we can go into Mamoon, right? We don't have a lot all the time.
Yeah.
We
We
have.
can go.
Yeah.
All right. So Mamoon, let me copy and paste some of this notes from before. So Mamoon. All right. So I mean, the hardest thing about your situation, Mamoon, is that under our policies for FQN, we can help you with anything that you want to do, but we can't do it for you. And that's the hardest part here, is that if you're not capable of doing these things on your own, it's very difficult for us to help you with it. So in the context of, like, for example, setting up a crowdfunding campaign that is separate from Mamoon, in other words, it would be like a trust or an organizational uh, model. Mamoon would lose control of all the money.
Yeah, I was thinking that he could do this under the sponsorship program, so we would earn the admin fees for the work that we would put in,
That would
right?
be automatic. Uh,
Okay.
that's I mean, but the thing is that, okay, the process of doing any does everyone understand that a campaign is exactly the same thing as organization? Everyone understand that the campaign is just like
Yeah,
a
exactly. Yeah,
temporary organization. Does everyone understand
exactly.
that?
Yeah, it's like an
Okay.
entity. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like a little, it's like a little mini entity, right? A little
yeah,
mini entity.
mini entity. Yeah.
So once you create a leadership team, a leadership group, right? This is the list of people who have power to oversee the money that is raised. Okay, so the leadership
Mhm.
group can decide everything. They have full power and control of everything. So if Mamoon wanted to start his own campaign for his own family, Mamoon, you would control everything. You would control all the money, and then we could just donate to you. In fact, you could already do that. You could just send out an email and say, like, oh yeah, here's my Bitcoin address. If people want to donate, I could use some help, and then that's the end of story, right? If
Mhm.
you're setting up something that's separate from Mamoon, right, and you're creating, whoever is in the leadership group and whoever's control of it has full power to everything, including, do we want to do a separate entity, a individual, so tax ID, uh, or a sponsored program, right? So this fiscal sponsorship would be a choice of the leadership group. So again, when you say, like, oh, I think it should be under the sponsorship, whatever, that's just not up to you, Alberto, unless you are the sole person who is running the campaign.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just saying as an option that. I see that there's other options. Of course, you can create a today. You can create an LLC in the United States in 3 clicks. So
Yeah, but when you're fundraising, it can be trust, and it can all be done based on an individual tax ID trust or a tax trust under a normal trust model, like with its own tax ID. So either way, you can use individuals as fundraising mechanisms, so the money's not going to yourself, even though you're using your own tax ID. Does that make sense?
yeah, of course.
Because it's a personal fundraising campaign.
Yeah, it's a personal
Right? You're
fundraising.
fundraising
Yeah,
on behalf of an individual or a family.
sounds like very, very, very difficult process on this one. So, actually, I visited the website the other day, but I saw there is no options for these countries. I mean, the country we are living. So this is a very difficult process. Yeah.
I mean, fundraising is not a difficult process. So Mamoon, you get that out of your head. So fundraising is very simple, and everybody should have the ability to fundraise. Raising money is difficult, but setting up a campaign and asking for money should not be difficult. So let's like run up the minimal needed to empower yourself or an individual to raise money. Okay, so there's not much that is needed. Or an
But Jay,
individual, right?
it's not
I will make this clear.
operate.
You do not need a a platform like GoFundMe or some sort of crowd fundraising platform, right? That is not necessary at all. All you need is a way to take money in. So, for example, you could have a crypto address. Lots and lots of people raise money literally with nothing except for a crypto address, and you just send people the crypto address, and then they send the money to the crypto address, and literally that's the whole thing. The crypto address is a fully public, transparent crowd fundraising system. It's like a preset system for crowd fundraising. Another option would be like a PayPal, right? If you have a PayPal email, anyone can send money to a PayPal email address. Another example would be Venmo. Another example would be, like a lot of times when you set up a GoFundMe campaign or whatever, you have to attach a PayPal to it. So you need a PayPal anyway, right? So I mean, I think these are the three easiest ones, but anyway, they could go on and on. As long as you have some way to access, oh yeah, you can actually set things up on some social media too. Sometimes social media can have a way to actually take money or Google Pay or things like that. The point is that once you have the way to accept the money, right, then you just write an email and you ask people for money, and then they send it to wherever you want the money to go. Like that's it. That's the foundational, most simplest form of raising money, right? The idea that you get overwhelmed because GoFundMe or some other platform wants to force you into a different way of raising money. Yes, you could do that, but it shouldn't stop you from the most simplest form of raising money that everybody across the world should have access to. Alberto, are you gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, exactly, Jay. Amun, we're giving you options, right? Then it's up to you, whatever you want to do, right? Depending on how much money you want to raise. But I mean, if you need urgent money for your mom health, you just get set up a way to receive the money, and you create a Facebook request that you send to all your friends. You ask your friends to send to their friends, and in no time you can, I don't know, you can get this in front of I don't know, 100,000, 200,000 people, right? You only need $5,000. So I think for something like this is what people this is one of the most reasons why people do this kind of quick crowdfunding, right? For health issues. What I'm saying is that we can help you out, but if you want our help, you need to do it under our policies and our professional and everything. And
But no, that's exactly what I'm not saying. Is that if you want, okay,
okay, if you
everything
want
starts
our
with individual.
guidance is a thing, but if he wants us for us to set up the campaign for him, I mean, it needs to go into one of our systems processes, or I mean,
But I think
something.
that's skipping one step. You're skipping one single step. Okay. Every campaign, every organization, every entity, every anything in society that is going to be organized requires a minimum of at least one individual, right? One individual must step up to take initiative. Right? I call this sometimes just the instigator in terms of like you're talking about creating LLC or something like that, they call it the incorporator, right? It's whoever is going to actually move the program or project or idea forward, right? That's the first step. That is required in anything that relates to FQN, obviously. But even in society, it's still required. You have to have at least one individual. So in our model, we empower a single individual to move whatever forward they want to. That's all it's required. So, but it doesn't have to be Mamoon. It could be anybody. Any individual could come set up, even on GoFundMe. Anybody in the entire world, 8 billion people can go on GoFundMe. They can set up a campaign to raise money for any other person in the entire world. Right? You can, when you go on GoFundMe, you're not forced to just raise money for yourself. You can raise money for anybody. But it takes an individual who is willing to go and take initiative and instigate the actual process, right? And that individual has to be either Mamoon or someone else. There's nobody else that can do it. Somebody has to do it and take the initiative. The only other option is if that 2 or more individuals come together, then they can make decisions together to set something up and take initiative. So you need at least one person to do it, right? If you get 2, then you can create a leadership group and have multiple people working together to do it, right? So basically under our policies, there has to be one person who comes forward to do it. And right now we have 0 people. Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if Mamoon's not willing to do it himself and no one else wants to step up to do it, there's no way I would be able to handle setting up another campaign. I'm trying to set up like 20 campaigns. And so my focus for years and years has been how do we set up a model to set up multiple campaigns so that we can replicate this and expand it and scale it. I don't have the capacity to oversee the campaign for someone myself, right? So if Mamoon's not willing to step up for himself to do it, someone else would need to step up to do it. And you need at least one individual to do something. And if Mamoon's not willing to do it for himself, you know,
We are definitely not going to do it. That's what I was telling to Mamoon. I mean, it's up to you, right? It's your situation. So we are here to support you in any way. But if you don't step up and you become the instigator, as Jay just defined the role, if you don't if you're not the instigator and you're here waiting for us to tell you, yes, Mamoon, we're gonna create a GoFundMe campaign for you now and raise $10,000 and everything's gonna be okay. No, we are full of work. We're overwhelmed with work. We want to support you, but I mean, if you're not the one that steps up, says, okay, I have a plan, or ask questions, what can I do? What can I not do? We're not gonna do it for you, right?
Okay,
So,
I have something to say
yeah.
here. So it seems like uh, it needs times to get the outcome, right? So
I don't know. I think if you do a Facebook
I mean,
request or something.
it's pretty simple. This is a list of what you need. So let's say Mamoon is willing to do it, right? So a list of what you need. Okay, so you need a place to accept money, right? Just like I went over before. This could be either a PayPal. This could be a crypto address, right? It could be a Venmo, right? Or you can ask for sponsorship to get a organizational bank account, whatever you want. I don't care where you want to get the money, but you need a place to accept money. Then you need to draft a post you put on social media and or a video, whatever, explaining your situation. Then
Yeah.
you put the two together. The post asks for money, and then that's it. That's all you need. You basically need a place to
Yeah.
accept money. You write your story, telling people what you need, and then with the link to the money, and then you send it out to the world. That's literally the whole thing. It shouldn't take longer than like a few hours, like the minimal, right? But it's like you can obviously take months to set up campaigns and create super fancy like Hollywood videos and all that kind of stuff. People spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars setting up crowdfunding campaigns before they even launch the campaign. Right?
Yeah.
But that's not required. You can literally just write an email or a simple post with your situation and then at least put in that effort and see what happens with it. If that doesn't work out or you want to do it again, then you can go to the next step and improve upon it and then send it out again. Alberto?
Yeah, I mean, you need to start working. You need to sit down and I think you can make a little video of your mom explaining the situation, and then in the end you make the request for money and you send it to us. I mean, I send it over to my friends and stuff, and Jay sends it over to his friends, or I don't know. I mean, but it's up to you, right, to take the initiative.
Can I add something? I want to hear more from Mamoon about what your current plan is and what you've already researched and what do you think? Instead of us, I thanks Jay for telling him what the options are, and I think Alberto, you already went into it. But what do you think? What do you know about crowdfunding and what research have you done? I have two links to two options. One focus in Bangladesh, but the first option is more for private stuff. Or are you thinking Indiegogo, or do you think crypto, or what have you researched before? Do you have a current plan, basically?
Mamoon, you there?
I haven't been research anything, but I just heard GoFundMe about from Alberto, and just he talked about two, three options, but I am not actually feel very comfortable with these campaigns. Actually, asking money to from people. I mean, it's
Yeah,
I
so
don't
that's
know how
that'd
to
be
say
a
it.
cultural thing.
Well, that's good to know that you really aren't comfortable asking for money in general and that you have no experience with it. And then I didn't realize this is the first time since Alberto mentioned it 2 weeks ago that that's the first time you heard of even crowdfunding. And yeah, so okay, it's good to know. And one side question because of certain things, is her health related to COVID at all? Because there are generally COVID funds or COVID emergency health funds, or or is it a different health issue? I don't know the nature of it.
Oh no, 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 no! This is different. Like my mom's got an heart attack, and she got paralyzed. Right side already got paralyzed, and it took me like 1.5 months. Around 1.5 months, she was in hospital, and I got her back just because of if she stays in hospital, it costs like 70 $60 $70 a day per day. So it's very difficult for me. So I already spent like 5 for 5K dollars. So it's very difficult for me to spend more money. So
Okay.
So, so
Mhm.
out of the teeth, Mamoon, right? So if you don't have family that you can ask money for, right? You have a connection here with the United States, with Italy, or richer, more developed countries, right? So it's your mom. So I wouldn't care. And the last thing I would think about is oh, I don't feel comfortable about asking money. So you have two options: or you ask money, or your the risk of your mom, the overall risk in your mom's situation, it's a lot higher. So I don't know if I be in your situation and I have no family to ask for, nobody that personal friend that could really help me or something like this,
yeah,
and
I already asked.
and
Okay,
I have the
let me
option to create a little video, right? Or a little
Alberto,
video that
Alberto.
you send us, and we send it to our friends, and we send it over. I mean, who cares if you're not feel comfortable? You should think about your mom. So just do that and get it moving, right? I mean,
Okay,
I
let me.
I,
I want to let's let
Okay,
Alberto finish, and Mamoon, and then I'm going to talk after that. Okay, so Alberto finish, and then Mamoon, then
yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, Mamoon, the situation. I don't know, but like, you know, there's nothing wrong in asking money. It's a society that created this sensation that I mean, there's nothing wrong for people to ask money if they're in help. There's people that have so much money they don't even know what to do with that, right? There are most people that have money, rich people that have money there, and they're just making money for them. That's why rich people manage to travel all the time and basically not work. But I mean, I have experience in asking money, right? I raised €3 million for my project here, and I've asked money to, I don't know, almost 500 people, everybody. I asked money to everybody, and then 36 gave me the money, and I never felt bad about it. I had a good project, I had a good thing to propose. I'm not asking you money for me to go out and spend it on partying and this kind of things. You're asking money for your mom. So if you're concerned or you're feeling bad about asking money, I mean, this is a super legit thing for asking money. I mean, your mom needs to have a proper healthcare. So just ask the money. Today you can get in contact with the whole world. So I don't know. This is my out of the teeth, my
Okay.
2 cents. Then I'm done. Check.
So I want to say something, but Mamoon, you want to say something first?
Yeah. Actually, Alberto, it's not right that I didn't ask money from. Yeah, I asked. I have taken some money from my very very close friends and um, and families. I mean cousins. So they helped me out, but you know, it's when you ask money from people that you don't know, that is uncomfortable to me. Not that uh, um,
Yeah, but have you ever done it?
Alberto,
no, no, no.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jay. Yeah.
let me finish, and then I would like to say,
Yeah. Sorry.
Mamoon, were you done?
Sorry.
Were you completed? Do you want to finish?
Yeah, I completed. I completed.
All right, so let me go next. Does anyone else want to talk? Alberto, you want to go after me? Does anyone else want to talk? Because obviously there's a lot of people want to.
No,
All right, after me, you can go again, Alberto. Okay, so I have a proposal, and I trying to figure out like what we could do. So the way that I work and the way my mind works is very different than most people, right? And I'm always thinking about, how do you scale? How do you help people? How do you like make this functional, right? What I would be willing to do, and this would be my proposal, is to prioritize what I've called our umbrella fundraising campaign. So the idea of an umbrella fundraising campaign is you could have unlimited, sub campaigns, right? So each individual campaign is basically its own branch, but they all follow, all easily follow the same model. So basically, you could set up dozens. So it should be very easy. Should be very easy to set up dozens of campaigns and get them going, at various times for various reasons. And it would be the same thing where you would prioritize your list of, I don't know, 10 to 20, maybe prioritize it down to, 3 to 5 campaigns that we would want to launch. So the question would be, what campaigns would we want fundraising campaigns would we want to launch? Fundraising campaigns we want to launch at this time, right?
Yeah.
And so what this would be, instead of focusing on one single campaign just for Mamoon, for me, it's like, okay, you have Mamoon, you've got Stacy, right? You've got, myself, and I need funding for, various programs and goals and all this stuff. And we were trying to build a bunch of budgets, right? Building budgets, right? Then you have, I don't know, you could even do fundraising for, various causes and or political goals, right? So for me, it's like you make a list of all the campaigns that you want to set up. You set them up in a way that they're very, very simple, very replicable, and it's easily can scale to add more campaigns, and that's the same kind of model as like the pipeline, right? So you just have this like pipeline of campaigns that you're kind of just pumping out. And then in that context, we would be setting up a
Tokens.
bunch of campaigns simultaneously instead of
Can I,
just one.
And we
can
could
I
set
add
up
something?
and we could set up like tokens, like people would get excited because they would receive tokens, so we could call them like
We could have lots of options. So there'd be lots
Yeah.
of options for each campaign. So we would have a cookie cutter model, but then within that cookie cutter model, there could be like, okay, does your campaign want to include tokens? Does your campaign want to do this, this, and that? And so there'd be lots of unique attributes to each campaign, but they would all follow the same process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I want to add something. If we want because we're talking about scalable and replicable crowdfunding for many causes, and I'm fundraising for dozens of causes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So here's, we can pick one. Like if you guys check out this link, we can, I don't know, partner with one. There's many options. I have a picture above. There's so many: Kickstarter, GoFundMe, Fundly, you can even install a widget and have it on the SVG website, or we could do it internally, or we can partner and do an affiliate
Well,
with one of these other ones. There's many ways. And then one other thing specific to Mamoon is there's this, I just Googled it real quick about the best crowdfunding for your situation in Bangladesh, but something they're saying specifically is Facebook, so it really, we have to figure out which platform is the best. That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, so this is again the vortex model taking over, but I mean we could definitely create our own crowdfunding platform without any.
I mean, we've actually done that before in the past, but and I don't really want to go into the details, but yes, we definitely created. You can also pretty easily set up different crowdfunding fundraising platforms on WordPress. You can kind of just install like a plugin and kind of just set it up.
It's nothing complicated.
It's nothing complicated at all. But what's very interesting about the model that I'm proposing, that it's so flexible, is that because it's an umbrella model, that it doesn't matter where you do your fundraising. It could be anywhere, and it just pulls it all together, because you can have 100 different platforms with 100 different sites and 100 different ways of raising money, and the umbrella campaign will just allow you to pull it all together. Each campaign can decide what the best way to raise money is and how to raise money for that particular cause or goal. And then you just pull it all into the umbrella campaign, which is in essence branches out to anywhere in society that you need to bring in money. Does that make sense? Because you don't want to limit yourself to like a single website or a single platform or even our own thing. You want to maximize the ability to utilize all the resources across all of society.
Yeah, and like Jay, we could create like the whole value system where we create these tokens where whenever a campaign meets its goal, part of that goal goes into the liquidity pool of the token, so the token would become more valuable, and it would be amazing.
But I mean, for me, each campaign would be interdependent, right? In terms of how it's set up and who's involved and how, like, in essence, every single campaign would be like its own, in a sense.
Yeah, I agree with that, but we could, it should be like this. But then each campaign would have like in common the thing that for every dollar that you invest, that you donate, you get I don't know, one of these caring for the world token or something like this with a nice name. That if the campaigns meets the goal, I don't know, we create a system that the tokens would become more valuable over time. So people that have donated in our first campaigns, which are the most rudimentary and stuff, then after 1 year, if we are successful in this in this new program or thing, then they would basically have the token that would be valuable a lot more than the donation that they originally made. So this would be a very strong selling point that we could create, right?
Okay, fine. Well, I'm perfectly fine adding tokens into whatever you want, but the point that I'm trying to make is simply that any campaign should be able to have the power to control their own campaign. And then within that power includes breaking off and no longer wanting to be under the umbrella campaign or even under sponsorship and going somewhere else and doing their own thing totally separately. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, but
Yeah.
every campaign should bring back value to us in a
Why?
way, or either because we are creating all this system for the campaigns to be more successful than they would be if they went. So we would pick up the campaigns, like I don't know, every month we would pick up 1-2 campaigns, and we
I mean,
would
I
they
think
would start.
that's fine to consider as an option, as a model, so that each campaign, a certain percentage goes back to the whole, to the umbrella, right? So I think that's fine in theory and context, but there's two problems with it. One, for example, let's just take Mamoon for example. If we're raising funds for Mamoon's, mom, I don't know if I feel comfortable on a moral and ethical level to be taking money from that. Like, if the money's supposed to go to the mom, then the money should go to the mom. If we're worried about money getting siphoned off, by Moon or other people, we could create a trust model to guarantee and make sure the money goes to his mom, right? So
Yes, but hear me out. I thought about it, but hear me out. If
but
we create, yeah,
and just say that under our sponsorship model, for each campaign that agrees to the sponsorship model, we're already getting 5 to 10% anyways. Why do we need more than that?
no. I'm saying this 5 of 10% more. The thing is that we would be very clear in the campaign. We'll say this campaign has been developed through FQN organizations. So FQN organization, in order to make this campaign professional or whatever we want to do, it's taking these admin fees. But this admin fees, part of this admin fee is used if the campaign is successful, would go into the liquidity pool for the token that we're sending out. Like, the important thing, I thought about it as well, right? This conflict. Okay, we're taking money, but we're helping Mamoon. We're putting in work, but then I thought, if we make a cool thing with the tokens and things, and we are very transparent with the public, right? Okay, we're taking this because there's a whole organization that has been working on this with people putting lots of hours, and also we're building this value system that if we are successful in a bunch of campaigns, these tokens that you're receiving now for your donation, in 1 year they're probably going to be worth, or 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, they're probably going to be worth more than what you actually donated, right? So you're actually kind of investing, but the important thing is just to be very transparent, tell it very clear.
So we can set up however we want to set it up, and we can set up per campaign, we can set up umbrella campaign in many different ways. But if it's under FQN and if it follows our policies and it's internal to us, which is what we're talking about now, setting up a whole umbrella campaign of all these things internal to us for the time being, there is an automatic distribution of community equity and tokens under the FQN system already that exists. So we can utilize the existing token model that we already have to distribute tokens to any and all of the programs, and anyone who contributes, because that is how we do things already, right? So we can do that already without having to get approval from the campaign, right? We can just distribute our token. But the question of whether or not, but how we are investing in the token on the back end, I feel like needs to be up to the budget decision making. Does that make sense? But the budget decision making will make the final decision on the money, and you could make a line item in the budget where the money goes towards the token.
No. Of course, everything should go. We're brainstorming, so everything should go through our processes, through our decision making. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I was just brainstorming because my initial idea was, okay, what can we do? We can for encouraging people to invest, to donate to Mamoon's GoFundMe campaign. We as workers, we could donate some of our back pay tokens or whatever to whoever is donating That's what I was thinking. But now we are developing something a lot bigger, a lot that we could even create a whole new value system. We could use our existing token. We create a specific token. But I think that any we should always uh, maintain the focus on the business side of anything that we do, right? So this is great, but I mean, be sure that we create something that in the long term is gonna create value for us, that we're putting all this time and effort, yes, to help and do good in the world, but at the same time we're developing our business model and our wealth and our balance sheet.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone wants to add anything, but my personal take on it is that I could ask Mamoon, hey Mamoon, when did your mom need help? Did your mom need help in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, or did your mom need help yesterday and today? Mamoon?
No, it's uh, like I need to get her in the hospital as soon
When?
as possible.
As soon as possible. So that another way in English we say that yesterday. Yesterday is another way of saying as soon as possible. Right? So what I'm proposing is much slower than Mamoon just setting up his own campaign and going and moving with it, or an individual taking action doing it. What I'm proposing is a much more comprehensive way of setting up a broader model for campaign success, but it would allow to set up multiple campaigns simultaneously. As with Mel's doing, we could even add additional campaigns that Mel has and help those as well, right? So the point that I'm making is the keywords are very, very simple and very, very replicable. And I'm fine with all these new token ideas and all that stuff. But if it's not required for initial getting set up, in my mind, if we stayed focused and we did this maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we could get the most bare minimum, set up for like 3 to 5 campaigns, including Mamoons. We just launch them, send it out. Maybe we make some money. Maybe some money comes in. Maybe some money doesn't come in. But it should be the minimal, and we can add more complex and more, not understood things later as we want to evolve. But if we want to set up this full massive system with these brand new token ideas and all this stuff, it could take months to set up properly.
Yeah. So what I think here is what happens here is that the trajectory of Mahmoud's mom has crossed now with our trajectory and has helped us brainstorm this, and this should also all go into our model. And I think we should work on this as it gets prioritized by our model. This said, obviously, this is something for the longer term, and it wouldn't be possible to help Mamoon yesterday as he's needing. So we go back to the point. I mean, it's great that here we've crossed the trajectories, and this is something that we're getting excited, and we should include it in our model, so it gets prioritized by it, and we will work on it as it gets prioritized. But yes, for Mamoon, we're still at point not zero, but yeah.
Okay, so I mean, at this point, my proposal would be that this is what I'm willing to work on. So this is my personal proposal, that if people want to prioritize this, we could work on this and do this together. If nobody wants to work on Mamoon's campaign as an individual. So what that would mean in terms of, and again, any two people or anyone could go work on Mamoon's campaign, but if we want to set something up that people could actually get paid as client work, this would be client work. And we could actually budget an umbrella crowdfunding campaign, because the goal would be bringing money. It's kind of like we can budget for grants. We could pay someone to work on grants because it could bring in money, right? So if we didn't want to pay someone to work on grants, we could pay people to work on the umbrella fundraising campaign.
Right. So
the
I
way
think
it comes together is it would be prioritized as a website showcase, a showcased website, right? Showcased website. So in that context, it could come under the prime trajectory if we want to prioritize it, but we would need to move through that process very quickly if we wanted to do it quickly to get it move forward, separate from obviously the broader launch. Then this would be like a pre-launch. before the umbrella website.
A soft launch, like something.
A
Like.
soft launch. Well, I mean, it is a public launch, right? If you're trying to raise money.
But yeah, are you noticing how we're going into topic 4 already? So,
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Is there anywhere else to be prioritized? Fundraising. I think we already have fundraising under the team schedule.
We have it's
Is
definitely a sub trajectory, right? For
I know there's fundraising somewhere. Fundraising is under SCG Client Works. We already have fundraising and grants. So this is Andromeda Hour 3 client work. So this can also be prioritized as part of existing client work. So can prioritize as part of existing client work for fundraising.
fundraising.
Okay. So if we want to prioritize that as our primary fundraising goal is setting up this umbrella, and we actually already have a website, like I already have an umbrella fundraising campaign website all already designed.